Hey, welcome back. Welcome back to the In Between. In between Monday and Friday. There we are, weekend to weekend. Alrighty. So again, welcome. This is the In Between for January 21st, 2026. How are you? Hope you're doing all right. Well, what's been going on over here? Not much lately. Not much. Keeping low profile, watching the playoffs again, like everybody else. Getting a little writing done, starting to work some more, getting more work done as far as the writing goes. It's time to shake off the holidays and get into creative mode and start working that. The angle's a little different. Got some stuff going on, so we won't be over here for a while, or we'll be back here next week. Anyway, uh, not much else is happening. I'm thinking here, what else is going on? Everybody's doing all right. Knock on wood, things are happening here. Again, just letting go of the holidays. I think that's the hard part, and it's also should be the easy part because it's time to move on, time to get ready for the next holiday. And so it just the next holiday season. We got a lot of one offs here and there, but the whole season, not yet, not yet. We got some days before we get there. So that being said, let's see, writing again. Let me go back to the writing. Working on a leadership book and working on a fiction, working on historical fiction book. So picking that back up again. Let's see. I'm thinking here. It's been pretty much a dull week. Uh, it's been, I guess, just waiting for the weather. That's the other thing, and it's coming in, and it came in last week down here. Got cold, and then it got nice, and it's getting cold again, and that's just kind of the cycle we live in down here in this part of the state, this part of Texas. But it's still fun. It's exciting, especially when it comes in like that and not knowing what is going to happen or how things are going to play out. But it's always a good thing when it does play itself out. So it's weather. That's it. But again, that's also what's helping me kind of, I'm here, I'm inside, not outside in the cold, and it's time to begin again. So it's just part of the natural progression of things. And I'm really at a loss. Normally I write stuff down, and it's like I'll put little notes here. Um, I had a video idea. I'm looking at one right now for that Starbucks bear. Remember that, and how that was a perfect example of socialism slash communism and capitalism, right? Because they only made X number of those Starbucks bears. So if you got one, you know what I'm talking about. Or if you wanted one, you didn't get one, you know what I'm talking about. So there's that. And then again, I was going to talk about how the comparison is very limited. Who got it? You know who got it. The insiders got it. Their friends. Oh, I'll set one aside for you. So again, it's kind of, who's who, the oligarchs, I guess. And the capitalism is it created this demand. Everybody wanted it. And it wasn't not enough to go around. Supply and demand was not balanced. So that created that fear of missing out. And so people would do whatever they could. They'd jump on, of course, there's always those that are profiteering, and which is again what happened back then. And so the profiteers, they would get one, and then they go throw it up on eBay, for a couple $100. Here's yours. Again, that's capitalism, socialism, communism, and in its truest, purest form, right there. The whole picture, not just that one little part. And again, not criticizing Starbucks. Again, they're out there making a buck. Who was it? Chick-fil-A with their gold cup. Same thing. You get a gold cup, you get Chick-fil-A for a year or something like that. Again, it creates that demand. Everybody wants it. Everybody wants to win that gold cup, and then there isn't enough, or there's only X amount. They at least told you how many they were making. 100 for the entire nation, for all the different locations. And so again, it got people in the door, and that's capitalism at its finest. So you can't knock it. You cannot knock it. That supply and demand is where it's at. So you create that fear of missing out. That's where it's at. Anyway, so speaking of fear of missing out, I'm going to go ahead and bring this one to a close, this episode of the In Between for January 21st, 2026. How are your New Year's goals and resolutions going? Again, my goals were a little different. These are year-long goals, not resolutions, as those would have been over a long time ago. But how are yours going? And if you want to share, let me know down in the comments. Talk to you soon. I'm Dave. I'm out.